Hello chicos y chicas, this is your host Ali and welcome to La Chica TV. So today we are going to do a get ready with me. The topic today will be what are my thoughts on dating. And so if you don't know, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so in our LDS culture, dating is completely different. And just to start off, I always start with Evian natural mineral water. It's very hydrating for me, so it always feels nice to put it on before I begin putting on makeup. Whew. I also use this because I'm not getting any younger, so here we are. But anyways, so again, I live in a very small town. It's called Rexburg in Idaho. And it's very small. It snows a lot right now, especially this time of year. And honestly, I like it. I like living here because I don't know, when I'm not extremely stressed about school and work, it's actually extremely relaxing. Anyways, I'm gonna use this giant mirror. Yes, whenever I'm not worried about school and work, it's not that bad of a city. But anyways, back to my topic. Oh my goodness. I think I put too much. Back to dating. I actually didn't start dating until I was 21. Just because I didn't, it wasn't something that I was interested in. I don't know. Something about it just wasn't interesting to me during high school. Even after I graduated, I thought I was like, no, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna just focus on that. And so I don't know. I did, I think growing up, just because I had that mentality, a lot of people thought, that, oh, maybe, she doesn't like guys and she likes girls or something like that. And I thought it was a really dumb mentality to think that, because I'm just because I want to be focused on my education and on my career, it doesn't mean any of that. So I always hated that about dating and just growing up, just because I thought hey, at that time I was I'm in high school, I should be worried more about doing well in school than trying to be socially active, if that makes sense. And I wasn't very good socializing, but anyways, yeah, so I didn't start dating until I was 21, and I don't regret it. I enjoyed my life. Even at that point, I didn't know a lot about relationships or what people do to date, but I think for me, it was the right time to start. And then at that time, I came to college and I had my first boyfriend. I had known him for a bit, but not very much. I think honestly, the only reason I dated him was because I wanted to have that experience, not because I was particularly interested in him. And maybe that was not the greatest thing of my part, but I dated him. I had my first kiss with him. It wasn't the best. But I learned something really interesting about our culture is that a lot of people want to get married really quickly, which is not really the best, especially if you don't know the person. And at that moment, this guy that I was dating wanted to get married, and I really didn't. I wanted to continue my career. I had just started college and I really wanted to graduate and just focus on that. And I don't think I had even had the time to realize that. So we broke up probably around 2 semesters after I was in college. And after that, then I started really knowing about the dating culture here in an LDS environment. And it was crazy. It was real crazy. It's really interesting what our mentality is like when it comes to that. And I'm gonna tell you all about it. So I started college around maybe 2.5 years ago, right? I was 21, I'm 23 now. And I probably had never really felt the rush of dating somebody and like getting married and doing all these things until I came here, because we just have this mentality that we have to be dating people, that we have to rush into marriage or something like that. I don't know why people think that. I honestly don't know. But I think now because the mentality is like that, that's why we think that way. But there's really no rush. I mean, the more I've been here, the more I've realized that like you can honestly take your time, and not in a bad way, but just really make sure you know what you want before you go and break anybody's heart. And anyways, so I still haven't figured everything out about here and dating. Like, I still suck at it. But I know a few more things that I don't want to do or I don't want to be part of. There is this bachelor vibe. I can't say it. Bachelor vibe. And what I mean about that is that, you kind of have a lot of options. You have a lot of people you could date, right? There's a lot of cute guys, there's a lot of cute girls. And you kind of just want to try it all. You kind of just, want to go on a date. And you kind of want to go on a date with this person and this other person. Oh my goodness, that other person is super cute. And you want to go on a date with them too. And you can just never make your mind. You just kind of kiss everybody and date everybody. And then at the end of the day, you are still confused and have no idea what you're doing. And for those that watch The Bachelor, I think you can relate. I actually just started watching it with one of my roommates is kind of obsessed with it, and I finally said, okay, fine, I'm gonna watch it. It's not that I didn't want to watch it, it's that I was so busy and it just didn't seem completely interesting to me. But anyways, after I watched The Bachelor, it just made so much more sense of why we like it so much, especially in this culture. It's because our dating mentality is just like The Bachelor, So many options, so many cute people, so many people you think you have connections with, and at the end of the day, you're still confused and have no idea what you're doing. Anyway, so that there is that huge mentality here, and you think you're connecting with people, but you're actually not. You have some things in common, but there's nothing else, and it sucks. It sucks because since everybody is so confused, you never really just know what is going on, and I think that sucks a lot. It sucks a ton. But oh goodness. Anyway, so that is the very first thing that I think sucks about dating here. Second thing is people are too fast at committing, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is that, okay, after you think you have a connection with somebody, after you think that you know somebody super well, it's time to start dating seriously. And that is that's not even the extreme here. That's okay, you're dating seriously, cool. No, some people get engaged or talk about marriage like this in 3 weeks. Believe me, I've heard it. And that makes no sense to me. They're okay, you think you know this person, that still doesn't mean you should commit to something so big like that, most of the time I feel like I barely know myself. And how are you going to get to know somebody in that short amount of time? Of course, there are always a few exceptions, very rare, but it happens. I still don't think it's right. I don't think it's the best idea. I think it's really important to truly, truly meet people, get to know them as much as you can. Oh my goodness. And, do your best to continue knowing them for a bit, for a while. And that just surprises me so much. It makes me think back to that first boyfriend I had, where I barely knew him, but we were dating seriously. And most of the time I honestly asked myself, like, do I actually like this guy? I think most of the time I was like, you know what, I don't think so, but maybe I could like him later on. See the problem? And then he started talking to me about getting engaged and getting married, and we had only been dating for like 3 months. Like, that's as much as I knew him. I know, crazy. And I'm glad I got out of that, and I started realizing myself that was really, really bad of my part, because I was still, I had to sneeze. Okay, it's gone. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Cool. Oh yeah, that's when I started to realize that I really needed to settle down and, like, calm down and try to figure out what I actually wanted. And then I realized that he was not the person I wanted to date. Like, he wasn't bad. He was just not someone I wanted to date, and it happens. So this is the highlighter I used, if you can see it. This is my favorite highlighter, honestly. I think I got it at CVS. Oh my goodness. I broke it. But, oh my heck. Ooh. Wow, I really have a sneeze coming. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, too fast at committing. Like, honestly, think about it. Think about all your options. Think, not because like you want to choose other people, but because you need to think about, like, what do I actually want in life right now? And then think about all the other steps, but don't rush it. There's no need to rush stuff, like, honestly. Anyways, I'm gonna use my Anastasia Soft Glam palette. Honestly, like, I'm not going for like a very glam look right now. I'm just gonna go with this orange soda and burnt orange right here, for my eyes. And I kind of do random stuff all the time. But okay, so the third thing I thought about was ghosting. Yes. So if you don't know what ghosting means, it basically means, like, let's say you meet a guy at some club or dancing, or I don't know, at a bar. I have no idea how people meet these days, because I work a lot and I do a lot of school, but the way I meet people is dancing, so that's why I said that. Anyways, unnecessary. So you meet somebody, some girl, some guy, and you start talking to them and you start hitting it off, or if that's what it feels like, and it's great. You've been talking for 3 weeks, a month. This is awesome. Like, nobody has ever talked to you so consistently like this before. And then all of a sudden, nothing. No text messages, no likes on your Instagram, no calls. I mean, not a lot of people call anymore, but like literally nothing. And you kind of wonder, like, dude, is he dead? Is she dead? No. My friends, they're not dead. They're probably talking to somebody else because they probably got bored of you. I sound so bitter. But that's usually how it happens. It's like, oh, okay. So that's what ghosting is. They completely stop talking to you. You have no idea why. There's no more communication, and you kind of want to text them and ask why, but you don't, because you're afraid of the answer. It happens a lot. It has happened to me several times, honestly, and it sucks, because it makes you feel so insecure. Like, what the heck did I do wrong? Like, did I say something that they didn't like? Did I do something they didn't like? Like, I thought we were, connecting so well. I thought we were doing so well. And now, like, there's nothing. So yeah, that's what ghosting is for you. And honestly, my only advice here is that if somebody does this to you, do not feel bad. It is not your fault. Sometimes it could be, if you're being like extremely annoying, like, creepy, not giving people space. But if you're not in this category, it's really not your fault. People these days don't know how to communicate, and so when maybe you stop being interested in somebody, it seems like the easiest option to just stop talking to them, and hopefully they will move on with their lives and forget. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like this. if you ghost somebody, like they will wonder for a long time why you did it, if they did something wrong, if there's something wrong with them. And honestly, I feel like this ruins a lot of people's confidence levels and a lot of trust in people. And I only say from experience, maybe like I'm still bitter about the situations that happened to me, but I just really want to secure people that like it's really not your fault. Like, people need to learn how to communicate how they're feeling. Like, if you're not interested in someone, then tell them. It's that easy. Through a phone call or a text, like, hey, I'm not interested anymore. I hope that you find somebody else. It will literally hurt a lot less than being ghosted. And I see that a lot, especially in our generation right now. Like I say, I'm 23, and like I feel like it just gets worse. The younger generation does this a lot more. But again, we're not guilty. Like, I don't feel like, I don't know, like I feel like I would have to go outside and ask people about the situation to really see for sure. But it's something that is done here a lot, and it's not cool. This is a fourth thing I found after I brainstormed for ideas about what I hate about dating. So then, again, I live in an LDS community, right? Like, this is this bubble. So we have something called NICMOs, and basically it's like non-committal makeouts. There you go. So basically you go on a date, make out with someone, and that's it. So like there's no intention, and I'm pretty sure like this is relatable to the real world too, like outside of our bubble, where you just, it's kind of like a LDS version of a hookup, kind of. You go meet a cute guy, make out with him, and go back home, and you go on with your life, and that's it. And then the person does the same thing, and it's like super weird. Like, when I came here back when I was like 21 and so like in a bubble, innocent, that I didn't know anything about life, it was super weird for me to hear that people would do this. Like, oh my goodness, you actually go and kiss strangers for no reason. Like, that's whack. So, oh my goodness. Ugh, what? That was the craziest thing I had heard. And like now it's like something normal that I hear, and it's like, oh yeah, like they just want to make out, and I have not done that. Well, maybe, but I didn't know I was doing it. Enough about me. So yeah, I had heard people doing it, and now it's like, again, normal to hear about people doing that. But like at the same time, I feel kind of really gross and bad that I think it's normal to do that now, because I feel like dating, has turned into like a game, and it's like complete trash now when it should be something so special. Because I don't know, for most of us, we want to date to find someone, kind of find that better half, tu media naranja. But people just kind of play with your feelings now, so not cool. And then we have another thing, and it's called Ring by Spring, and I thought that was really crazy too. So it's basically like, we have our semesters here in college, like in my school, are like trimesters, kind of. So we have 3 semesters in a year, and so you have like the Ring by Spring obviously means like during the spring semester you will have like that whole month to like find someone to date and get a ring by the end of the semester, or once spring comes, kind of, if that makes sense. I might be wrong, but that is super whack. Again, committing too fast, dating without knowing people, like that's all that crazy stuff, where I was like, that makes no sense to me. Like, why would you do that? Like, again, this isn't a game for most of us. Then you have something called DTRs. Basically, define the relationship. So it all like ties in together. You define maybe you go on a few dates with people, and after like the 3rd date, you're like, well, shoot, like, are we gonna date? Like, does he actually like me, or does she actually like me? Like, we've already gone on 3 dates. Where I think we need to talk about where we want to go with this, like if we're gonna date seriously again, committing too fast without knowing someone. And so then you have to sit down with somebody and define that relationship and see where this is gonna go. Honestly, that right there ruins a lot of potentially good relationships, because it scares people. Like, oh my goodness, like people who know about this, like, you know, who really want to take time to know people and before making it serious, kind of get scared about this. And just in general, because it's like, again, committing too quickly. You know, we're just knowing each other and there's no reason for us to rush it. And so it's like super crazy. It happens a lot here. I think I've been guilty of doing it a few times, because when I came here, this was like the only dating experience I've had. And so my mentality was kind of like, oh, like this is usually what happens. And no, that's not what happens. So here I am. Here I was, extremely confused, because when I would go on dates with these guys, and I'm like, okay, we've been talking for like a month, and we've been seeing each other for a month, but like we're nothing, and I feel that's kind of weird. And then I talked and I did the DTR, like define the relationship, and then this guy totally ghosted me. A surprise. After that, I learned my lesson, and I was like, okay, like that makes no sense and it doesn't help. I feel like the thing with these like slang words or like this vocabulary connected to dating now, like really continues ruining what dating means, especially in our society. Like even outside our bubble, like we have so many like other types of slang that I don't know because I don't experience it. But it's like, you know, it's ruining what dating means now. And I could definitely ask you like what it means to you. And you can definitely comment down below and tell me, because I really honestly want to know, like, what do people even think what like dating is now? I feel like a lot of people now kind of hate it because it has all these horrible connotations with it. But like if we realize it's our fault because that's what we created, and you know, we don't have to abide by these rules. Like we can definitely change these negative connotations, these negative words, this bad lighting dating has now. Because I don't think dating is wrong. I think it's, you know, it's kind of important. If you want to get married, if you want to have children, you kind of have to date. It's just we kind of go about it in a really terrible way. So now I will curl my eyelashes. This little handy dandy, oh, it's so dirty, eyelash curler and my Estee Lauder, I can't say right, mascara. For people that use this or want to ever use this, it's not waterproof. So if you like cry or get any water on it, it will like streak your face really bad. I only knew it because I went to watch Little Woman and I had this on, and I go out of the theater and my friend looks at me and she's like, dude, your face. And I go to the restroom and look at myself, and like literally it's like the, you know, like the novelas and like that soap opera kind of stuff, like, you know, all black streaks down my face. And then the very last thing, and this one is really, really important, I feel like, oh my goodness, it's really important. Let people be single. What I mean by that is that there is nothing wrong with somebody that just wants to focus on school, and or who, you know, everybody has different life situations, different life experiences. And I think that especially again in this LDS culture, we want to push people to go on dates, to, you know, we try to set them on blind dates, we try to set them up with their friends, you know, whatever. There's so many things. Or we're like, why aren't you dating? Or like, are you dating somebody? Like, it's always a constant flow of like wondering if this person is dating. Like I've said previously, dating is not bad, but being single isn't bad either. sometimes people have to work on so many things that we don't know about because we don't know their life. And that requires sometimes that they need to be on their own. Or, they want to take that time to get to know themselves more. Or try to, I don't even know. There's so many things of why this person just might want to, take a break from that bubble of constantly being rushed to date. There is no rush. Everyone has their timing. Our lives take different courses. Our lives go through so many different things. Like, no one has the same type of journey. And we emphasize so much that this person has to date. This person has to do this. That, I feel like that just makes people who are going through that want to not date ever again. And I might be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, everybody has such unique situations that, like, I think you should just focus on yourself. If you want to date, you go and do that. Like, nobody's gonna, I don't know, like, just do you. You want to date, you go date. You don't want to go date, then don't date. That's it. And I've had many times where, like, I just, like, honestly wanted to be working on my school, on my career, on my job, just, like, on myself. And I had just many people, like, ask me, like, hey, like, I have a friend that you can go on a date with. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. That's cool. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not interested. And sometimes it was, like, seen, like, as a negative thing, like, like, why are you being so bitter? Like, I'm not being bitter. Like, I just want to live my life. That's it. And it's not cool, it's not cool to judge people who want to live their life, because obviously that's why you have your own life, and that's why that person has their own life, and that person has their own life. It's not cool to judge. It's not cool to push people to do stuff. So I actually have this thing recently where I haven't been wanting to wear eyeliner. I kind of been wanting to go for more, like, natural looking makeup looks, and it's hard. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like I look super weird, and my mom would definitely not approve me doing my, like, eyes without eyeliner. She's always like, you have to put it on, like, it completes the look. And I just kind of don't want to do that, but not important right now. I use this one. It's my favorite one, although I haven't found the waterproof one in, like, forever. Let people be people. Let them live their life. If they want to be single, let them be single. And, whatever. I'm not a dating expert, obviously. But these are the things that I have learned just from living here and just from having, like, personal experiences with these things. I'm pretty sure there are so many more reasons why dating sucks. But these are my top 5 reasons why I hate dating in general, at least at this moment. And if you guys have any more, let me know. They don't even have to be related to, like, this culture. They can just be, like, dating in general. Like, I feel like these apply to dating in general anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things I miss, because, like, I could not, to save my life, think of any more. Like, I always have things to complain about, and, like, this time I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Like I said, if you have any more, please write down on your comments below. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. If you have video suggestions, please let me know, because sometimes I struggle really hard and I have no idea what to write about. As I'm, like, brainstorming and trying to write scripts and content for you. So if you're interested in whatever you are, like, I will research and find out for you. My last thing is that people don't know how to date in general, We have downgraded a ton. Yeah, we just suck at dating in general. Like, honestly, sometimes feel really jealous of, like, you know, the 50s when like dating was super cool. Like you would go get milkshakes, go skating, go dancing, and it was like way fun, and like people actually called each other, and like that doesn't happen anymore. So, but who am I to say anything? Like I can't change time, but I feel like we can change ourselves. So on that note, thank you for watching my video today. I hope that you learned something from this, and so this is it for today. Thank you, chicos and chicas, for watching.